All right. So today we're going to do a review session, and we've been asked to run through this particular topic a few times now in the past week. And also, I think it's pretty relevant to today's market. We're going to talk about debt consolidation, and I'm going to show you a very nice way to see how debt consolidation can actually help your clients. What is debt consolidation? It's a way to pay off multiple debts by just combining them into a single one with a lower interest. That's pretty obvious. But what are the real benefits here? It actually streamlines your finances. So this means you have less number of payments to worry about, less number of interest rates to track, and it just gives you a little bit of a peace of mind. You can also lower your payments if you consolidate a bunch of debt that are at high interest into a single one. You're actually increasing your cash flow. You can move that cash flow and expedite your payoff time. This also helps to improve credit score because your credit utilizations is now lower. And also there's a lower risk of making late payments. But today we're going to focus a little bit on number 2, because we have currently a situation where we have an increasing rates and there are clients that may be experiencing some hardship. So I'm going to show you how the Refinance Analyzer can actually help those clients. So I want you to meet Sally. Sally obtained a mortgage from RBC in 2021. At that time, when interest rates were super low, she got an amazing rate of 1.55. At that time, her payments was $2,877.50. So that was all great, right? However, as you know, rates have increased, and this is her account as of yesterday, January 24th. The rate now is 5.55. Of course, it increased. Her new payments are now increased more than $1,000. Now she's got a long way to go, July 12th, 2026. And this is a problem. She comes to you for help. And I'm going to show you how you can help Sally get out of this situation and be a winner. So as you can see on the left, I have my slides, and on the right is an actual projection of my phone. This is the phone I can touch right here, and I can move it. So I can show you a demo on how to use the Refinance Analyzer, and specifically, we're going to do a scenario where we are looking at debt consolidation. To start a new scenario, you just tap on Start New right here. If you want to go to an existing scenario, just click on the card itself, and it'll take you into the tool, and you can select a scenario. But we're going to start a new one. I've put all the information here so it's easier to track, and you can also follow me on this. So let's get started. First question is, what is your current property value? So we estimate 1.2. Next. What's your balance? So we know Sally sent us the statement, so we know it's 807,279. And she's got an available equity of 152,000. It tells you right here. What's your current mortgage rate? Well, it's 5.55, unfortunately, and it's a variable rate. So I can just tap on this area here and switch it to a variable. Compounding is monthly. Okay, let's go next. So we know who the lender is, RBC. What's your current mortgage payment? So Sally is paying $3,983.64 exactly, and it's a monthly payment. You can actually switch it here if you need to. And now we come to the maturity date. So let's set the date to 2026, July. And the way I do this is I tap on the date here again to get back to the actual days. So 12. And now you just tap outside. This is a standard iOS control. It works this way. So July 12th, I can switch it to month just to see. It's 41 months left. Perfect. Let's go next. Here's the cool part. Now, Sally has 2 debt items. She's got a credit card of $15,000 and she's got a car loan. Let's add this information in, and it's easy. You just tap in on the debt item, for example, credit card. Let's add it in. And we're going to give it a name, because if once you give it a name, it's actually easy to see it in the report later. Balance is 15,000. She's got a high rate of 19.99. And because she's pressed for payments, she's not going to pay this off. She's going to actually only do interest only. And the way you calculate interest only is you just tap this button, interest only, right here above the keyboard. It will figure out what the interest only payments are. Now let's do a car loan down here. Let's add it. And we're going to give it a name. It's a high-end Toyota, so she's got an outstanding debt of $54,000. Of course, rates are high, so her rate was 8% when she got the loan. And she's paying $1,200 per month. We got 2 debts here added. Of course, you can add additional ones if she does have it. You can also tap on see more if there's student loan or other debt you want to add. But we're done now. We only have 2 debts. So let's move forward. What's your approximate prepayment penalty? We know it's a variable rate, so 3 months interest. We estimate 6,000. And now we're going to find a new rate for Sally. So there's a couple ways of doing it. If you know the rate, just punch it in. If you don't know the rate, rates down here that you can choose, and we're going to now filter. So it's a refinance purpose right here on top. And we're going to switch it to actually a fixed rate. So we're going to go here, fixed. And now we're going to use a rate that we choose here at 5.64. Let's just pick this specific rate here. There we go. Do we need to take out additional cash equity? Not at this time. So let's go next. Okay, now here comes the optimization, and I want to talk a little bit about this. There are 4 options here: lower your interest, lower your payments, pay off the mortgage sooner, take out equity. Choosing one of them actually optimizes the tool to make some changes. For example, if you want to lower your interest, it will not extend amortization to 30 years. If you want to lower your payments, obviously we can push it down to 30 years. So I'm going to actually choose lower my payments here. And we're going to give it a name. So Sally Smith. Oops. This is the last step. Let's make it a little bit purple here and finish. Woohoo! Of course, our payments are now lower by $4,500 per year. That's $383 per month in increase in cash flow. I'm going to tap on next. Also, this is good news. Refinancing will also save us interest by about $1,000. It's not much at this point, but we'll still break even before the end of current term in 33 months exactly. And last but not least, we're actually now paying off our mortgage sooner, 20 years sooner. Because if you remember, the remaining amortization was set to 50 years. And of course, now we stretch it to 30 years. That's 20 years of saving. And we're going to tap on finish. Now, those were just the results of the Refinance Analyzer at the end. However, you can always come back to those results by tapping on this info button in the top corner to explain to you what those results actually mean. But if you know them, you don't need that. You can just use this header here, and you can actually tap on these buttons here. So we got interest, payment, and time. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, and I know I talked about this before, but I think it's important for you to understand what this graph is. This particular break-even graph, what it means. I really like you to understand it. I'm going to actually show you a little graph here, and we're going to walk through it very quickly. So at the beginning of time, like today, we have a prepayment penalty of $6,000, plus there's also going to be interest on it. So it's not just the 6,000, it's actually 6,285. This is how accurate the app is. It doesn't just consider the prepayment penalty, but also what it means if you were to add it to the new mortgage. As time goes, because we're consolidating debt, and we may have a little higher interest, but overall we're saving money. You can see that our loss is actually decreasing. So as time goes, the cost is offset by the savings until we hit this point. This is called the break-even point. This is where all costs have been recovered. So now from this point on, we have a true savings. And that's increasing until the blue line. The blue line is my favorite. That's the end of current term. Well, at this point, we have this much saving. We will have savings if our term was longer, but that's what it is. We stop right here. Beyond that, the future, we don't know. Hope that was clear. I also want to show you another part of the app, the analysis. That's pretty handy. So you can actually do a quick view analysis by tapping on this. You can do a side-by-side comparison here between current interest and new interest. You can see that there are cards for them and what your savings look like. You can also move it over and see the payments now. So let's see. Current monthly payment was $5,430. That's because our mortgage payments plus our debt payments. Our new one is going to be much lower by about $300. And that's what the payments show. And then, of course, you've seen the break even. Well, you can pat yourself on the back. You are a hero because you've consolidated $69,000 of debt. You've recovered $6,000 in penalty plus the interest. You lowered your client's payments by $383, and you saved $1,156 of interest. You also expedited the actual mortgage payments, the mortgage payoff time by 20 years. And most importantly, you relieved Sally of the stress of rising rates. So she doesn't have to worry for the next 5 years or 3 years, whatever term you have chosen. Now, how do you communicate this to Sally? Well, one way is to send her screenshots and say, here you go. I've done the analysis. This is how it look. This is what it looks like. And that might be nice. However, we have another cooler way. We have a refinance report that's pretty handy. So the way it works is one touch. You tap on a button and it will generate a report for you that you can share with Sally. It's branded. It also has a feature where you can make modifications on the phone and the report is updated. And you get notified when someone views it. So let's just create one. How do you do it? Well, there is a export button right here. That's a box with an arrow going up. That means data is leaving. So when you tap on it, you're going to see a menu. You're going to create a report. First thing you see is a preview. Let's look at the big screen here. Share. And there's a number of ways you can share. You can send it through WhatsApp. You can send it through Instagram, whatever you like. However, for this particular example, I'm going to copy the link to the report. And because my phone and my computer are connected, I will just paste it right here. And it's going to open up the report. Oh, look, I got a push notification that my report has been viewed. Let's go through the report a little bit in detail. There's going to be several sections, and there are basically highlighted with titles here. Current situation. This is what currently Sally is experiencing. You can see her remaining term is 41 months. That's going to be her balance at the end of the term. This is what we're proposing. Get a new mortgage with a new lender, and at 5.64, your payments are going to be $5,051. And this is what we've seen in the analysis screen. You can actually see the savings. You can see the payments lowered here. It does a side-by-side comparison. And what's interesting here is the total savings. You can also see the interest it would have occurred during this remaining term by the debts itself. So you actually save $20,000 almost there. Further here is the payment comparison. So current situation, we have the mortgage payment, we have the debt payments, but the proposed is a single payment of $5,050, which will save us $383 per month and $4,590 per year. Time comparison, yes, we saw that. This is crazy, 50-year AMs. Further in the app, you can actually add in additional fees like discharge fee, other fees, legal fees, and it will recompute the savings again. And we got the two debts. Okay, so let's do bells and whistles here. So a couple stuff. First, match payments. So the way we do that on the app is tap on edit, move these tabs over to a new mortgage. So now here you get to see all the configuration you can do with the new mortgage. And all you have to do is tap this row right here, keep same payment. And it will move the additional cash flow always, as long as this switch is on, into the new mortgage. So now what do we have? Well, we got more savings. Of course, you're paying off mortgage faster. You're going to get less interest in the remaining term as well. And over here, our time savings, we're actually now paying it off in 25 years and 3 months, which is an additional time savings of 24 years and 9 months from the current situation, which was 50 years. That is match payment. Next thing is Sally says, well, hold on, I have equity. I have another $77,000 of equity. By any chance, can I celebrate by taking some cash and maybe go on a vacation? Well, let's see how that works. We have an item here called cash equity takeout. So let's put in $10,000 and see what happens. Oh, interesting. She still saves money, not as much as before. Of course, we take out some additional money, but overall, we're winning. Let's turn this guy off, keep same payment. Yeah, so if we don't keep the same payments, our payments are still lower, but we don't break even in the current term. Maybe that's okay. Maybe Sally's like, you know what? I don't have to worry about my debt payments. I don't have to worry about rising interest, and I get an additional vacation out of it, and I pay off my mortgage sooner by 20 years. That's good enough for me. Give me that cash flow as well. Right? So that's sort of the bells and whistles. And then you're free to play with this as much as you can. You won't break anything.